Alright, so very first thing what we want to do is make sure we start by clicking on the sketch. I'm going to start this one from the front view, and I'm going to click on that plane right there. Using the line command, I do like to tie back to the 0, 0 point, and I'm just going to go through and just do a basic outline and type in the dimensions as I go along. Remember, I can sketch it and then go back and put the dimensions later, but I'm just going to try to kind of go through this here. This dimension right here always kind of gets people because you're looking at the dimension on the back side of this part, but make sure you know that you're taking the front cutout, which is 0.75 minus the 1.75. So this is 1 down, 1 over, 1 up, over 0.5, and then back down. So this is 1 point, and let me just make sure you know that to do this, well, you can take 1.75 minus the 0.5, and then it will calculate that distance. So you can type those equations in there, and that is going to be helpful. So right here, I'm going to sketch this. I don't know what that dimension is. When I just look down, I notice I'm going to have to do some other calculations. So the length for this part right here is going to be the 3.25, which is the length from this corner right here to the center of the circle. And then we're going to add the radius of the circle. So the radius is 1.2. So you can just type in 1.2, and then now that just set that whole part. So I'm going to finish this sketch, and I'm going to extrude it. I'm going to extrude it the whole length, the width of this part, which is 2.4. Alright, so that gives me the basics. So that's my first extrusion. I'm going to go ahead and start over here on the back side, on the left side, and create the sketch for the cutout. So remember, you can use project geometry. Project geometry brings any of the lines that you currently have forward. Your lines will be yellow, mine are green, just based on the way I have it set up. This time I'm just going to sketch. So I'm not putting the dimensions on here, I'm just sketching it, just to show you that this is another alternative way of placing your lines. So I'm going to now put the dimension on here. This dimension is going to be 0.6. This one over here is 0.6. So it places the line, it moves the line where I want it to go, and I just sketched it to begin with, and I'll pull this one over here. So this one is 0.75. So now I've placed the dimensions on that. You can see they're all fully constrained now, and now they've turned to a darker blue line. I'm going to finish this sketch, and now I'm going to cut this shape out. Sometimes it does this where you have to just kind of point closer to the object. It's not picking my profile. Alright, I'm going to go back and add another line to this. Let's see if that makes it a little bit easier. There we go. That was tricky. Alright, so I'm going to cut this. I want it to cut all the way through this whole part, so I know that that is a distance of 2 inches, and we cut that. So those are the basic things that you've done up to this point. Alright, so now let's move into just a little bit more as far as using our sketch command. We're going to put a point right here, and then I'm also going to use the fillet command. The fillet command right here. I'm going to just go ahead and use this now. I'm going to, fillet? Yeah, we're going to use the fillet command. So, here we go. The fillet command for this one, looking at the radius for this part right here, the radius is 1.2. So I can type in 1.2. Click on the 0 selected, and now I'm just going to point to the corners, and I'm going to put that fillet on there. And then that's going to make that a curve. I can also use the fillet command for this edge right here that's going to be rounded. The radius for this one is 0.38. Click on the 0 selected and then point to the arc or the line that has the, the radius in there. So that would be this one right here. So now with just 2 clicks of the radius command or the fillet command, I have those 2 arcs already laid out. So I didn't have to actually physically draw those in there. I'm just using the fillet command to create those. The only thing I have left now is the hole to go on this one. And now that I already have the center point, I can do 2 things here. I can draw a circle and give it the diameter, finish this, and then cut it. This is one thing I could do. Alright, so that's an option. The other option is to use the point command. If I can use the point, I'm just going to point to the center of the circle, finish the sketch, and use this hole command. This hole command only works if you have a point already specified. So for this one, it's just a through hole. We have the diameter that's given to us at 0.88. Okay, and it goes all the way through, so I'm not going to need to put a distance. But if I were using something like a counterbore or a countersink, this is going to make it a little bit easier. So there's just 2 different ways of getting that last hole on there. So there's the part in its entirety. So using sketch and extrude, cutting parts, using the fillet command for these surfaces here, and then either drawing a hole there or drawing a point and cutting that.